I was thinking about how I first found you, and like I found you through the Getaway song with Doomroar.
Oh yeah.
But I remembered that that was found through that Summoning Salt video, which is still the most popular video on his channel, the Ultra Shortcuts of Mario Kart Wii.
Yes.
And your
Yes.
song is the intro to the first shortcut, the Grumble Volcano shortcut. And I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you
Yep.
about that because it's like, because you're like, did your popularity like grow a ton when that like first came out? Because he provides the music list in a Google Doc. Like he just uploaded a few days ago on Double Dash, and it's
Yep.
amazing. I love the video.
Oh
And
yeah.
like, so like, what did you think about that? Like when it first came out and stuff, and like, did it like spike your? Because like a ton of the comments in that song was people from Summoning Salt.
Yes. Yeah, that did provide me quite a bit of a spike. Funny that you bring that up. I literally just watched the new Double Dash video about 2 hours ago for the first
Nice.
time. I saw it uploaded, and I always try to like carve out. I'm getting off track, of course, but I always try to carve
No, it's
out like a
okay.
little bit
It's
of
okay.
time. I always try to carve out some time to really sit down and watch his videos because God, he does such a good job. He might
Yeah.
be my favorite YouTuber right now. He's up there for sure. But um, no, there was definitely a spike in popularity. Also shout out to Odling who had a couple songs in the Devil Dash video. He's a really good chill synth artist and deserves more recognition. And
Yeah. I
was
saw you use like
really
2 or 3 of Oddling's songs in that one.
yeah, he did, and I was like, "Oh, Odling, like, go, man, that's awesome, very cool." But anyway, yeah, I saw a pretty good spike from that, that's for sure. I think a lot of it wasn't quite as big of a spike as you would probably expect. I would say I'm honestly seeing more returns from that now than I was initially, because now like
Oh.
there's a really popular Spotify playlist just for all music that Sounding Salt has ever used, and Getaway's on that playlist. So I'm seeing more plays now for Getaway than I ever was actually around the time that came out. I think
Oh.
it helps that he not only is that video just grown like blast. It's like 11 million views now or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
It
Uh,
was when I last checked, but I think it might be more at this point.
is it really? Gosh, that's wild. But a lot of people just like think of the music as like more of a background than anything in his videos. In People probably care more about the music in his videos than they would like an average YouTube documentary, I would say. But at the same
Yeah.
time, it's due to that. It was probably like 10% of 1% of the total people that have watched that video have looked into the music at all, and probably even a less percentage of that actually looked at my track or came across it or anything. So it was a good spike, and that's still one of the coolest things that's ever. I think I when that video came out and I saw my song was in it, because I had just like sent him my song on a whim. I think I emailed him and I was just like, hey man, like I know you use this type of music within your videos. Feel free to go ahead and use this if you want to. And that night that I think I posted about it on Facebook, like on my own personal Facebook, and like I remember just like geeking out about it for so long. That was super cool.
Yeah, it was great. Okay, so the algorithm's giving you a better run this time than the first time. That's cool.
Yeah, yep. Which it's weird how that works, but I'm
Yeah.
not gonna complain about it too much. I don't think.
Yeah. No, his stuff is great. I love his stuff.
Oh, it's
That
so good.
that video, I remember watching that video, and then when I was up in Washington, because AK here had Mario Kart Wii up there, so I
Oh, nice.
plugged it in, tried out one of the shortcuts, and I actually got it to work for a lap.
Did
I
you
have it on.
really?
I have it. I have all of the attempts on recording. I set a camera down and just rolled it for like an hour, and I finally got it down, and I figured out how to angle it right so that I wouldn't jump over the spot and miss the checkpoint completely. And so I haven't uploaded that
Nice.
yet, but I want to at some point, just because it's so cool. And yeah, I remember hearing your song, and I thought it was great. And I heard a bunch of other songs, and I found a bunch of other artists that way too that I thought were really cool. But
Nice.
um, they're not as engaging as you are. And honestly, I don't know if they're still active. One of them I know is active, but I don't know because it's very interesting because I came across you and you happen to be the one that's like most active, and then like
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
good night. Sorry, my little sister came in to say goodnight.
Oh, you're good.
Um,
Did
yeah, I
so
remember.
Quick question: is that how you initially found Getaway? Was through that video?
Oh yeah,
Oh wow, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it
I'll keep
was
that.
great too because at the time I was trying to find like new music that really that I thought was really appealing to me because like I got tired of listening to a lot of the same metal stuff that I was listening to, and I wasn't quite ready to branch out into more kinds of metal at that point. So I was like, I got to try something that's like completely contrasted to metal or rock or anything like that. And so
Oh
I was
okay.
just around, and then Dad sent me this video because the algorithm caught him, and he's like, "Hey, Daniel, there's this video on ultra shortcuts from a video game we had back like 7 years ago or something." I'm like, "Awesome!" So I booted it up and I listening to all the songs, and it's like I heard Getaway, and I'm like that note, that B note, and then the progression into when he first introduced the shortcut and stuff, and then I was like, "Oh my gosh, I got somehow." I look in the description. There's a list. There's a Google Doc with the list of all the songs. I'm like, who does this? That's amazing.
Yeah,
And um,
the fact that he does that is so cool. Like he still does that with his uploads and stuff, and it's awesome.
yeah, I was just listening to a bunch of other songs. When I got home from work, I jumped on a bunch of songs from that Google Doc just to listen to him because he's got right at this point he's got some favorites in there that like he'll use in practically every video.
Oh yeah,
Um,
he's got the "We're Finally Landing" by Home. That's like
yes.
wow.
Yep. At this point, that's iconic.
I know it's almost become sort of like a YouTube meme. Like I watched some other YouTubers that have started to use that sound now, and I almost guarantee it's because of
Oh yeah.
something. And I'm like, wow, it's crazy how it's so influential like that.
Yeah, I saw a meme where it's like, "Say the line, Bart," and then that first sound comes up, and they're like, "Yay!"
Oh, that's awesome.
That is great. It was really great.